Are you ready? Okay, we're going to open the meeting of September 10th, the Board of Selectmen. Open session public meetings are subject to being videotaped. Your image and voice may be recorded. While we're waiting for our appointment to arrive, we will move on to the meeting minutes. We have July 18th, which is a ZBA meeting, Monday 8/6. And these are all open and executive, correct? Yes, they are. And then is another ZBA on 8/14 and Monday 8/20. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Alrighty. Next is a write-off request for National Grid from the October 2012 road damage, which was $5,000.
So
Yeah, why don't you,
an accident occurred and a transformer came down off of a pole and caused there was a fire, transformer fire, and it liquefied some of Gates Pond Road. So the town went after National Grid to try to get them to pay, and they didn't pay. And we asked Maya if we could get covered for it, and Maya said no. So it's been just sitting on the books as an attempt to collect $5,000 from National Grid since 2012.
The reason
Okay.
why it was not collectible was because it was during the hurricane.
So there was an
So it
added
was
storm,
it was a storm,
act
it
of
was a
God
natural
wrinkle.
disaster.
oh, gotcha.
So it was an act of God.
Okay.
So do I-
Versus just a regular old automobile accident.
That's why it took them so long to respond to shut the power off so they could put the fire out, because of the disaster going on.
All right,
So do I hear a motion?
to take this off the books.
Seconded.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So that's, you increased your write-off authority at the last town meeting. And also that would be something that appears in the town report now, anytime you write off.
Okay.
So we'll add that to the next
the
town report.
All right, this is the updated letter to Mr. Clemmer?
Right, well, just what we just did.
Yes, I just want to make sure that's the one.
It is, yep.
Okay. There were a couple of changes. Now I'm blanking on what the changes were, Mary. Was this,
So,
Did you email this one or not?
not
no,
this one,
just
no.
literally.
She just
Just-
literally
I
went.
can email it.
It's fine.
The one I do. There, we took out discussion of salary because this is not meant to be salary, it's more consulting. But it's also
Yeah.
not 1099 consulting because he's not necessarily in the business of consulting. So right now, whatever money you were planning to pay him from is gonna come from salary. So we would need to possibly do also an article at town meeting to switch some money from salary to full-time wages.
Right.
So he can be paid out of
Part-time.
or part-time wages, but just wages versus salary.
Versus salary, yeah. So there were just,
Instead of doing all the calculation in there that was in the prior letter, we're just putting an hourly rate.
and then he will
Unbenefited was
keep,
added.
he's unbenefited, and he will serve at the direction of David Smith and/or the board. You should put in and/or the board.
And are there limitations to when this is sort of done, or?
Well, that would be up to David Smith and/or the board.
Okay.
And I'm assuming that David didn't think that he would need him for more than a few days.
Okay, excellent.
So-
'Cause that was
You also
my
want to
thought
add
also.
more language to make sure that that rate didn't apply to snow plowing, for example. So you haven't got there yet.
Yeah, I just was mentioning to her that if he comes into snowplow, I wanted to make sure that he's not making the time and a half. Whether I need to, it is,
Well, it also should probably not be his rate that he was getting as highway director either. It should be
no,
someone who
it should be
plows, right?
a snow plowing. When he snow plows, it would be from the snow
This
plow.
would be more for him coming back right now.
Right, I just want to make that
And
clear that,
helping as a superintendent
Right.
versus, I would say that if David decides to appoint him as snowplow, you would give him a letter that
Saying-
would appoint him as a snowplow at such
Right.
and such a rate based on their licenses, because I think that's how they do it now.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
wondering, it might be easiest to just put an expiration date on it and say this is good for a
30
month and
days.
then it's done.
Okay.
And if we have to revisit, we revisit.
Do you want to just add the 30 days to
I
it?
just emailed it to everybody, but yeah, do you want it to expire 30 days from today?
What's today?
Go ahead.
I
Just
think
what,
that's
10?
plenty
I
of
think that's
time.
fine.
Yeah.
I don't see any,
No.
I mean, I think David will come
By
up to speed
October 10th.
quickly.
Mhm.
And if not, then we can talk about why
Yep.
not.
Right.
Is there a limit on the hours, or is that all up to David's discretion or our discretion?
Well, it says in the event no longer than 40 hours a week, but
Which
I don't
also
think that's
seems very
happening.
exorbitant.
Do we have budget for that?
Most likely, but it's not like, yeah, no, I mean, yes, but it would, like she said, it would have to move from salary to
Right.
part-time wages. But I do think maybe it would be like no more than 20 hours a week.
Well, you definitely don't want going over 40 in a week, because now you gotta pay overtime.
Right.
Correct.
Do you want that bump from 40 down to a lower number per week as a cap?
I would.
Yes.
And then,
Okay.
and then anything over that needs
Down
to
to
be
20.
approved. Yep.
Yeah, those are the things I was thinking about too.
A
And
couple of days.
Yeah, I think
4
this is
hours
like
here and
minimal.
there.
It's
Right.
But we might as well close the.
But, I mean, you never
Close the
know
loop,
what
yep.
could come up.
Yep. Well, that's nice. I mean, give him a buffer for transition. And then after that, done.
All right, so having made those changes,
Yep, did you want to clarify that what roles this is? It's just superintendent?
Transition.
I don't think you have to because it expires in 30 days.
Okay.
yeah,
So I have October 10, 2018.
yes,
Okay.
that's
I don't think
fine.
There'll be no snow.
So having those particular changes, do I hear a motion to approve?
Seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're good, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Yes.
So Senator Tran,
Yes.
would you
Am I
like
up?
to, yeah, it's your turn. Would you like to come up
Sure,
or?
Sure.
Sure.
Thank you,
You
Madam
wanted
Chair.
a chance
and,
to
members
speak
of the
to
board.
us? Yeah.
I apologize for my tardiness today. My schedule is very hectic, and the rain outside doesn't help.
Understood.
So I want to take this opportunity to give you an update on some of the earmarks that I put forth on the up on Beacon Hill. And as you know, there were some financial bills that came before the Senate this year, including the budget. And when I took office, one of the directives that I gave to my office was that to reach out to all the towns and cities in my district and to find out what the priorities are. And I want to show my appreciation and say thank you very much to the town of Berlin as well as the Board of Select for getting back to my office and letting me know what your priorities are. Some of the bills that came before the Senate this year included an environmental bond bill, an economic bond bill, as well as the budget. I was able to secure up to $500,000 for the town of Berlin, and I will give you a summary of some of the earmarks that I was able to get through the Senate, get through the conference committee, and then finally get through the legislature. Let me take that back. The final step was to get through the governor, and I worked very hard to get some of these earmarks through the legislature and through the governor, as well as fought the governor to override some of the earmarks that he vetoed. And some of those earmarks that he vetoed were some of those that came from the town of Berlin. Now, the earmarks that I was able to secure for the town of Berlin in the fiscal 19 budget include $25,000 for the irrigation system in the community garden. I believe that was something that the town really wanted. It's, of course, the community garden in the town of Berlin. What I was told was that the town community garden is in need of a a water well and a pump to irrigate the gardens.
Mhm.
We were able to get that into the budget. That is completely secured in the fiscal 2019, and hopefully the governor will release these earmarks at some point in the fiscal 19.
Okay.
The other earmark that I was able to get into the fiscal 19 budget was the $18,000 for the fire utility task vehicle. Of all the money that I brought back to the district, up to $30 million, this is one of the most proud earmark that I was able to secure, because I felt that it was something that the town needed. It was a very important component, a very important equipment that the fire department is in dire need of. And I've always been a huge supporter of fire departments and police departments across the Commonwealth. And I want to thank the fire chief for getting in touch with me on this earmark, because he actually got in touch with my office, and he mentioned that in the last almost 3 years, that you folks tried to raise the funds in order for them to be able to purchase a very important piece of equipment that the fire department need. And I'm very proud that we were able to secure this in the fiscal 19 budget as well. So that's coming your way, hopefully sooner than later. The other two financial bills that came before me were the environmental bond bill and the economic bond bill. In the environmental bond bill, we were able to secure $350,000 for the solar panel roof array. I believe that was brought to my attention that you folks also wanted to be able to move forward with that project. The solar panels in Berlin would allow the new highways facility being built to have the necessary resources in order to move ahead with a project that was previously put on hold when the building was approved. And hopefully this earmark would be able to provide that mechanism for the town to move forward with this project. The other financial bill that came before me was the economic bond bill. With that bond bill, we were able to secure $100,000 for the infrastructure improvement in the town hall. So the $100,000 would go a long way towards the infrastructure improvements to make sure that this building can be around for the next 148 years, and I'm sure I won't be here.
Me neither.
So all those earmarks total about $493,000. I also want to give you an update on the education portion of what I've done in the Senate.
Can I just interrupt for just a second before we move on? Can you explain about the bond bills? Because I think there's some confusion in town about when that money comes and how that comes to be. Because my understanding is that has to be funded before we would ever see any of that money. So it's not something that actually is going to just show up.
Bond is an issuance of debt. That's what it is. The process with the bond bill is that the legislature have to approve the projects to go into the bond, and the final step is really it's a 5-year step with every bond that we approved, and then once the bond is approved, it is up to the jurisdiction of the governor to pick out which projects he wants to move ahead with. So there's one more component to this process. Even though we fought hard to get it through the Senate, the conference committee, the legislature, and then the governor signing it off, because some of the things, even in the bond bill, he vetoed, and we had to fight to override some of those vetoes. So these were saved. These are secured in the budget and in the bonds. Now the next step is the advocacy part. I know in the last several months I've been part of other advocacy efforts where we co-sponsored several letters to the governor asking him to release certain bonds that were signed by him maybe a year, 2 or 3 years ago. So that's the next part of the process that we have to take.
Yeah, it just, when it was released and the information was released, that wasn't made clear. So I had an energy committee who was very confused and was planning how to spend the money imminently. So I think it's really important that sort of information
I wish I could get all
is
these amounts
clear.
into the budget.
Yeah.
Because being part of the budget, that's almost a guaranteed.
Oh,
thing.
absolutely. Like I said,
but
I
with
just-
bonds, the next part is really the advocacy part, and I can assure you, when the time comes, we'll do the same thing that I have helped with other efforts in releasing some bond money. Is that as one, the board, myself, the town administrator, will write a letter on my Senate letterhead, and then we'll ask the governor to release it and make a few phone calls and put as much pressure as we can on his shoulders to release the money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the one thing I met with a few people from Berlin a couple months ago regarding schools. Some of the things that we were able to do this year was we were able to increase the Chapter 70 funding for schools to the highest level at $4.9 billion. And we also were able to increase reimbursement to regional transportation as well. And I know that is a very important point to the town of Berlin.
Mm-hmm. It is. Yeah, we appreciate your work.
Thank you. Any questions?
I don't think so.
No, and as a member of the community garden, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Because one of the things that I want people to understand and know is that there are thousands and thousands of bills up there.
Oh, yeah.
And any bill that comes before me for discussion, for debate, I comb through them. I look at every language and every bill that comes before me to make sure if there's a dollar sign in there, I'm going to try my best to bring that money home. Because if I don't bring that money home, some other legislator will bring it home, and probably to east of 495 to Boston somewhere.
Mm.
So it's very important that I understand, my office understand all your priorities are. So that way when a bill comes before me and I see the dollar sign and I recognize what the criteria is or the requirements are, and if it has correlation to what the town of Berlin needs, then I will absolutely put that request in.
We have actually started to keep track of requests that we would have for legislators, so
Excellent.
I believe we have a running list.
Good. And don't get mad if my staff keep on contacting you and
That's
bothering me,
fine.
because I don't want to leave any community in my district out.
Right, and we don't want to miss any opportunity too. Where there's
Absolutely.
multiple people on the list and everyone's thinking that someone's doing it and no one's doing it. So whatever we can do, you know how to find us.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you
Thank
coming.
you, Senator
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
My pleasure, likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Can I have one comment?
Yes, you have a
So,
comment?
one of the most important programs that I've been familiar with over the last 5 or 6 years is district local technical assistance. And the governor frequently has taken that out of the budget. And so it's back in this year, and the Regional Planning Commission, as a result, ends up with about $280,000, which it's been able to distribute to the 40 towns in southern Worcester County. And it's seed money that we've participated in using in other towns, almost all the 40 towns in our region have participated in. So anything you can do in the future when it comes to the budget season to keep DLTA, District Local Technical Assistance, in the budget would be appreciated, because it really has made a big difference.
My priority has always been my communities first. I don't care what other communities outside my district want. And the size of the budget is very thick. And it's very important to me that every community in my district let me know what they need, what line items that they want me to advocate for. Because if I don't know that, it's near impossible for me to advocate for those. But I can guarantee you, every line items this year that people came to me, my district office, my Boston office, asking for, Senator Tran, can you advocate for this? Can you ask for an increase? I've done them.
Well, that's one that really makes a lot of sense, so we'll be chiming in next budget season.
And I look forward to that. And you know how to get in touch with me.
All right, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
You too.
Right, and it's the planning board.
Where we're at,
Is it?
what we're doing,
Maybe
Oh, I've got
just
enough
cold
sweaters on.
outside.
with regard to marijuana, at our last meeting 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks
Come on
ago.
up, sit down.
Almost 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
I presented my first straw man to the planning board, and my theory at that time was, let's keep it simple. There's state laws on marijuana, there's state definitions on marijuana. What we have to be concerned is, where is it going to go? So I presented this to the planning board. Get it out, whole thing. I only got half of it. Oh, I only got half of what I wanted. Hold on a minute.
Tim, we're all set with the CMRPC stuff now, right? Did you get everything?
Okay,
you
here
needed?
it is. I think so. This
me
is
if you
just
need
to
something
show
else.
you what we have on the table of uses in the bylaws.
Chris and I can share.
Yeah.
Don't
And
make me-
down in industrial uses, if you see under industrial uses, you'll see medical or dental laboratories, and that goes in the limit industrial areas. LI, limit industrial. Research laboratories, storage warehouses. This is the type of thing we're talking about, the lab testing for marijuana, the manufacturing or the shipping of it, and warehouses. So I felt it would go into that limited industrial area, except for retail. Retail wouldn't be appropriate there. When I presented it, some of the planning board members said, well, maybe we've got to flesh this out a little better, get a little more detail into it. But before we got around to that, we were informed that there would be a warrant article to ban marijuana. Why go through this trouble if it's going to be banned? Plus, we requested a moratorium extension that'll give us more time to come up with a bylaw, and also look at some of the other towns and see what mistakes they made. So we were looking for an extension to June 30th, but as we found out from KP, Katie,
Catherine,
well,
I forget her
she's
last name, yeah.
KP's,
Laughlin.
Laughlin.
Laughlin, yeah.
Laughlin.
she's the marijuana expert. She says there's only been one town got a moratorium extension, and they had lots of extenuating circumstances. So we found out that you got to have something in here in the bylaw to where things can go, because if you don't have a restriction, then they can just about go any place. So with that, Tim's regional planning council, and he's been watching the marijuana. Tim is drafting something which we'll work on tomorrow night. And get a
Okay.
little,
And you're thinking industrial and basically, or?
I think the committee feels comfortable with that notion. What the bylaw will probably include is text that deals with the definitions of the different types of uses, because we see that consistently in all the towns that we've looked at, and it's language that's taken right out of the state, so it deals with retail uses and manufacturing uses, and so you define those. Then there'd be a little procedural section that would talk about the ZBA and the fact that you'd have to go through site plan approval and get a special permit and what some of the component parts of that process would be. And then there'd be this use chart, which would be similar to Ron's. It would probably itemize the different uses, and in some cases say that this use isn't allowed at all, perhaps. I think the committee is on the fence about whether to allow retail outside of the limited business or limited industrial zone. And one possibility, and I saw Grafton do this as I began to look after I thought, well, maybe an option would be to put 2 questions on the warrant. One that would simply say retail's allowed here, and then another that would expand that opportunity into some other zones. And then simply allow folks at town meeting to have multiple options, because there's going to be a question about, whether to ban it, and then there'd be a warrant article that would define it and give you protocol, and then 2 other articles perhaps that would define places that it could happen. So we'll talk about that tomorrow night, but I think we can sew it up pretty quick.
Even if the ban article passes, we would still go ahead with our bylaw, because when it goes up to the ballot, it may fail.
True.
So we still have to have
Never know.
something in place.
Right.
Usually citizens petitions go at the end of a warrant too, so the timing would be your article first and then a citizen's petition last, unless you wanted to order it a different way for this.
Yeah, I guess,
We can think about that
Yeah.
and how, there may be some logic.
citizens petitions go last.
Usually.
Yeah,
Mm.
and that may make sense. We can look at that and see what we think. Think about it
With some
tomorrow night.
feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I also request that you put a summary this time, so that people can actually...
We always do that.
You do not. You were the only ones at annual town meeting. And look what happened. So, summary, please.
Well, you never know.
So,
I know where to find you.
She's got your number.
All right.
All right.
Does anyone else have any questions? That was sort of the quick summary of the telephone call that we had
Yeah.
with all the parties, so thank
Now, you're comfortable with our sending off to town council anything that we've drafted up, because we've started that conversation with
you. Well,
Katie.
once
and
we get the warrant...
You'll get the whole warrant, but
Yeah.
I know.
Do you want it to go beforehand?
Yeah,
Okay.
For your meeting tomorrow night.
yeah.
Oh, before the meeting or after the meeting?
Before, if we can. Some draft language, even just to get her.
Before our meeting?
Yeah, anything we can
Might,
get.
I
Can
don't
you
know
get
how
it back
quick
that
they...
fast?
Yeah,
Well, I don't
know
think.
how quick they'll
it
get
may
it
not-
back.
It may
If you
not-
do that, I want to know how.
Yeah, really.
We were impressed with how quick we got the conference call.
Okay.
That was fast.
All right, so maybe,
And she certainly said, anything I can do to help. It sounds like she may be more attentive
Excellent.
than some divisions of their
Are
operation.
you okay with this, Peg?
I have my reservations, but I'll let it go.
Reservations about the planning board having communication?
No, well,
Town council,
yeah, town
we're
council.
watching our numbers on town council.
Oh, yeah, I think you have to.
Right.
But on the other hand, if you're gonna put legislation before the town meeting, you've gotta have a pretty good sense of what it is
Agreed.
that you're doing. Otherwise, the Attorney General says, nice try, but these are the flaws in your
Right, she
article.
overrules it.
Yeah. And we've had that, we've had town council on occasion say, this may be questioned, and indeed it was, so.
And has the town management study committee heard from KP yet?
No.
We have,
Well, sort of,
actually,
right?
and I emailed it to you, and it bounced. My emails to you are bouncing.
Good.
Not
Well,
good.
it makes life a
Not
lot
good.
easier for me. Are they bouncing, really?
Yeah, they really are. I
Let
sent
me-
you 2, and they bounced.
Let me email you, and then you can trace back on top of that one and see what
Okay.
happens.
Yeah, because I did get that back, and everybody else on the committee has it, but you don't because the email.
Yeah, we're meeting. But I'm going to give you articles for the committee tomorrow, for the other committee, for town management.
Okay,
Because we don't meet until Thursday.
all right.
But we've got articles that we want to give you, so.
Okay, anytime before noon on
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And
Tick
we're
tock.
steadfast. It's like at 12:01, it's late. No, okay.
Don't wait till 11:59.
lunch?
You know it's-
No.
Oh, 59 is okay.
If you eat lunch at 10, that's great.
And yeah, calling worked really well. I called, that's how I got.
It
feedback.
works.
It works, yeah.
No, I think that's true. Thank you all.
So we'll just send an email article to the Board of Selectmen.
And then we'll send it on, or is that what you're asking?
Yeah, let's
And
make sure,
Mary-
that's the way we've always done it.
Okay,
Make
that's
sure there's
fine.
nothing different here.
Yeah, it was Kathleen Laughlin.
Right.
Yeah. Or you can copy Brian Mazer also.
Oh, what, am I connecting
You're
them?
you're
You already-
forwarding whatever they send, their warrant article.
And,
Are we talking about for review for tomorrow night's planning board meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, and then Ornella included some questions to you that I think makes sense for us to ask Catherine as well, because they're pertinent in regard to what needs to be voted on and in what order and all that sort of stuff. So I think we can chase Catherine about some of those
Then you
questions.
need to include those in your email.
Yeah.
If they're pertinent to the town.
Yeah, because it's in regard to, do we need to actually have a zoning change, or can it just be a standard town bylaw change?
Okay.
And my understanding from our conversation with her the other day was the zoning change was the logical approach.
Right.
Because it's a use that you're banning. And, but we need clarification on that, because that impacts her articles. Because she's got the ballot question issue and the other two, and that's also part of the equation too.
Well, as long as it's impacting yourself.
Yeah, and it is, definitely.
If it's a question that impacts yourself or the
Yeah,
town.
Those
Yeah.
are pretty clear, I think.
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing?
It's up to them.
Can I say one thing?
You could say one thing.
One little thing. I think the most important piece as I sit here and I listen to all this is what is going to cause the least amount of confusion to the town so that they gain the most benefit from this. And I like the idea of posing the different options and not passing over articles. But then the real matter really, like at the ballot, when it comes for the ballot election, what if everything passes? What if you have multiple options that have all passed?
Then it's going to be an exciting ballot.
Well, I just mean those kind of, I think we have to have those kind of answers for.
Right, and that's why I'm saying, I
Yeah.
think we need Catherine's advice on
Yeah,
structure. Because
and how you open up discussion, yeah.
Well, it's either that or after the ballot, then you ask the question, now what do we do?
yeah, God help us.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda.
As you go with the approvals, because at 8 o'clock is the Town Hall Advisory Committee.
Yeah, and we are at the...
Number 4.
Number 4. Okay, appointment to the Assabet Regional Technical High School Town Rep for negotiations. Do I hear a motion?
You do schools, right? Like, that's.
Make your own
That's
motion.
Sorry, I said, do I hear a motion?
Move to make Chris the
That's right, I make a motion to make Chris make the motion.
thingy, yeah.
So I hear a motion and a second.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that was easy, wasn't it? Like, not really. All right, and then we have Eric von Geldern for the Information Technology Committee. let me look here, we
Yep, you got
also,
your,
wait a minute, we got,
Tom Galvin
yes, Tom
stepped out.
has stepped down from being on the committee. And, so we're all set, we
Motion
can.
to approve.
Okay,
Seconded.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And at some point, I would like to talk, I know that alternates are a specific thing for the zoning board and that sort of thing, but for our advisory committees, we have an extra younger person who is very interested in IT. So it'd be nice if we could give him some sort of role on our advisory committee so that he
I
would
think,
stay
yeah, I was gonna say,
involved.
I think that's like a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would like to at some point
And,
soon discuss that.
and one thing I would ask that you could tell Chief Galvin for us, I assume, as long as she hears what I say
I'm
and
listening.
agrees,
Mhm.
is that I would make sure to let this young man know that he can please come to the meetings.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has. It's just,
Yes.
I've noticed that people with official roles are more likely to take,
Right. But at this point in
Yeah.
time,
yeah,
please, you're welcome to come to the meetings, is what, the message I would like to send.
yeah.
Signed.
I don't think that's,
Alrighty. Letter to the DOR DLS Best Practices Grant Request. And do you wanna, is this the grant that CMRPC is?
this is the grant that we have been talking about for almost a year about getting help with our HR from a policy and procedure standpoint from CMRPC. In regards to when we hopefully bring in a town administrator to have done some of the legwork beforehand so that they can dive right into some things rather than trying to gather all of our policies and procedures and those types of things and being overloaded with that rather than the main functions of the job.
So this is to
This is
actually work
to-
on, say, the policies that we have?
There's a list of things on there that,
Okay.
from an HR standpoint, that they could potentially help us out with.
Yep.
And this was initially brought up.
Well, I remember that we had talked about it, and then I put two and two together and figured out this is
Yeah.
the letter that
It's
is
just
asking for that.
What happened last year was they ran out of funding, and now they have finally been funded again.
Okay.
So we can now pursue this again. And I think June would probably jump up and down and, like, if
And
we actually got
Is
this.
it, would someone like to look in the hallway and see whether Tim is still here, because we
He
do
has to
have
sign it.
a spot? Joe, could you just take a look? I don't know if he's still out there, but you can always get his signature later.
Is this what the password was for?
Yes.
Is there a deadline on this?
I think that they need to get it in there to apply for it, but I don't think, I
Hello.
think this is a,
I didn't do it, it was someone else.
Uh-huh.
No, this
it's
is
the letter for CMRPC. We just need your John Hancock.
You need my signature on the letter to?
Yours and mine.
Oh, good.
So, Will, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You know, this was the old principal's office.
Is this
They have
community
to do that.
compact?
This is Community Compact.
This was my first grade classroom with Miss Conway.
Miss Conway.
They had Mrs. Wakeland.
Were there two of them?
There were two for every, for every grade.
All right.
All right, thank you.
What did I sign?
Was that a
The
pen?
farm.
Is that a pen?
Oh, no, it's a pencil, but anyway. What do you think? I could copy my signature that well?
Oh, just scribble over it. There you go.
No one will ever know. I'll tell Jen it was fraudulent anyway.
Just tell them I did it.
He's
Oh,
looking.
good.
Okay. All
We
right.
filed Complete Streets prioritization plan with the state last week.
Okay.
And we should hear in a month. And then, sky's the limit.
All right.
Money falling.
Oh,
out.
Wednesday at 1.
Wednesday at 1.
You're gonna be here, right?
Yeah, right.
please.
I would not be reassured.
Bye.
Can I have my pen?
Oh, that would be helpful.
Thank you, yes.
All right. We were going to talk about promoting the board and using the town website, or what other suggestions do we have, or just a discussion, or?
Okay. So the first thing right out the gate is that we cannot use the town to promote the board. That's an ethical violation. You can't use it that way.
You cannot use the town. How
You
about
can't use a- you
communicating
cannot
with
use-
the town?
You can communicate with the town, but you cannot use town resources to promote the board.
A campaign.
A
Right.
campaign.
You can
can't-
factually put out there what the board is
You
doing.
can factually put out there what the board is doing, but you
Yeah.
cannot.
And
And that's what we're talking about, I think.
Okay. And I also have just several other objections to the to-do list. The new website actually has a news section that could be used to put out things factually that we've done. I could not find one other example of this type of sort of unfinished ongoing file on one other town website anywhere. It doesn't provide enough context. Someone outside can't really look at that and go, I know what you're doing.
Well, I don't think it was going to go up in this type of a format.
Okay.
That was my understanding, but no, this wouldn't be something like that would just be out there in public. I think it
Okay,
would be,
My impression was that list was going up, or some type of
the
list like that.
information, I think, could go up.
correct, the information can go up. I mean, I think that we owe it to the town to let them know what we do. And, I mean, as I mentioned in my email, we post agendas, we post meetings. People are busy, they don't see them, they don't go out. You hear the scuttle down at the dump, down at the post office, down at the general store. What is it that you guys do? I want to be able to say, glad you asked, point, and show them. If we need to expand what we've done, I'm all for that, but just because it hasn't been done by anybody else doesn't mean that we
Well,
can't.
I guess my feeling is we do have agendas out there that show what we've voted on and what we've done. We do have an annual town report. We do have a lot of mechanisms to do that, and I'm concerned it already takes a couple weeks for Mary to put together the meetings minutes that we have. So you're asking once again to go through and do something
Oh, I didn't think
similar.
I was being asked to do this.
What's
No,
that?
well, I
Oh.
don't.
No,
I
you're not, no,
personally,
I'm not
you know,
asking you at all to do this. This
I
this
can't.
is,
Personally, I also don't. I have a lot of other things that I do too that take up my time. So to go through and reiterate something that comes out in the meeting minutes does not make sense to me. It's a redoing work. Like I said, if we do a specific vote and it's something that's impactful, like hiring David or something like that, I think absolutely we should make an announcement on the news feed on the new website when that comes out, or something of that nature. But something like keeping an updated file with a big list or something like that just doesn't make sense to me. It just seems like something else that would, be another demand on my time when I have a lot of other things that need to be taken care of.
yeah, I mean, I understand that, but I respectfully disagree. There's a lot of things that we do that aren't on agendas that will come in via emails that any one of us could grab. And I feel that we owe that transparency to the town. I don't think that you can rely just on, we're putting minutes out there. We're just putting agendas out there. Mr. Bradley's here every week, videotaping our loveliness to be put out on YouTube. It's social media. People go to the town of Berlin, the Berlin Neighbors Connect page probably a lot more often than they go to the town of Berlin website, or
Right.
they go to that. So I guess I just don't see the harm with a little blurb. We'll come up with something, hey, this is what we're doing, something obviously more descriptive than that, and a point back to the Selectmen page. I guess I'm just having an issue trying to understand the hesitation on why we can't get information out to the town. And if we overload them, we overload them. Maybe that's a feedback that we'll get of, yeah, I got that. Yeah, I watch it. I know what's going on. But wouldn't you rather have that than being approached with so what is it that you guys really do? That's where I'm coming from.
Well,
I
think-
mean, we talked about transparency, we talked about this from the beginning. So I guess, you know,
I think it's a
try-
two-way communication too. I mean, I think not only do we want to hear from people, but we also want them to hear what we're doing,
Correct.
whether it's from the seat here at a meeting or
Mm-hmm,
I think we're going to be communicating with the department heads
mm-hmm.
Thursday night. You know, I think we individually go out and talk. You go to 19 Carter or
Mm-hmm.
the dump or
The dump, right.
But I also think that we could come up with many, many different ways to try to get this information out there, and you're still going to have the problem that you're talking about. You're still going to have the issue where people don't think they're getting enough information. I think that's going to happen no matter what. Can we do a better job of announcing different things and that on Facebook?
Mhm.
Absolutely we can. But I think those are the mechanisms you use. You use your Facebook page, you use your website better.
But we don't and we don't.
But those are the avenues that we should be using if you want to get information out better.
But
so
that's what I'm
not the
trying to
town
do.
website you're saying, but
Well,
the Facebook page for the town of Berlin.
you have to, it's
or-
the same rules. It still
Yeah.
has to be neutral announcement sort of things. It's the
Right.
same rules. But you absolutely can put those things out in those mechanisms.
All we wanted,
But-
all I want is for people to feel good about their town.
Correct.
And to know that there are good things going on here, you know, if they don't happen to read the minutes, which
Right, and the
I
intent
doubt
is
too many
not
people do.
to clog Facebook with this much information, but just to say, hi, here's the purpose. You want to learn more? Click here. Boop, and it just drops you to our page on the town page. Maybe they'll bookmark it. Maybe they'll keep going out there, but that was the intent. The format of the table that I have, I don't care, I'm not married to it. I'll get rid of it. We'll come up with something else, you know, maybe little bullet points or something, but to me, it's the transparency. To me, it's the communication that we need to get out to the town, that I feel we owe to get out to the town.
Then I would recommend that you go and look at other towns' websites and see how they are presenting information, because there's a reason that it's done in that way. So I would go in and look at those and see what we can bring back to Berlin from that, since we are doing an
Or how
upgrade on the
else do
website.
people, or how else do selectmen get their message out? Whether
Really,
it be
that-
the town
yeah. I
website
mean,
or other ways.
You can
Newspaper
absolutely,
reporters,
it's
which we
newspaper
don't have here.
reporters, it's newsletters, it's website, it's Facebook. But it is done in a very informational, neutral sort of way.
And anytime there is something that's newsworthy, you know, we as a board could send some kind of information to one of the reporters at the item or telegram or whatnot too.
We could, I mean, I just want to do a better job of what we're doing right now,
That's fine.
you know, to get the information out.
Mm-hmm.
But it also needs to be, like, we've just talked about, Mary already has a lot on her plate.
I'm not asking Mary to do it, I've never asked Mary to do it.
So if those types of things are going to go out, then there has to be some mechanism of how do we decide what's going to go out, what type of approval
That's
does
right.
it need?
It's just like the selectmen's newsletter.
Yep.
When it goes out, before it goes out, it's going to be approved at this table by us.
Where is the selectmen's newsletter? I've
don't
tried to get in
Um,
touch
I
multiple
have
times.
not heard from Lucy. Lucy had told me that she was working on it before I left, and I just have not had the capacity to chase her down.
And
it's a
and-
volunteer thing.
Understood,
um,
but that's what prompted this, is that after multiple attempts of trying to get in touch with her, it's just not working, so that mechanism is broken.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna continue to chase something that's broken, so here's an opportunity to do something different and to get the information out. Mary, she doesn't proofread it. Mary, Chris, proofread it. You know, just proofread my stuff. I mean, I'll do it. This is my idea. I came up with it. I'll run with it. But this is something that obviously needs the support of the both of you to get it done. I'm not going to be on an island, you know, just to say, I think that we should do this, and it doesn't go anywhere. So, you know, maybe not today we vote on it, and I'll go out and I'll do some due diligence, and I'll come back with it, but then expect this to move forward. You know, I really don't want to keep having this discussion on and on and on again about we should, we shouldn't, we should wait, other ones aren't doing this, we need to do this, we need to do this. Put a stake in the ground and just go, is what I feel.
Okay,
So I'll come back in a couple weeks with something, in a couple
is
meetings.
that all right with you?
I can't say that I will agree at that time,
Mhm.
until I see what it is.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's
I
what
do
it's all
think, I do
about.
think it's something that you need to research before you just do. It's also something that if you start has to be consistent. The other thing I would also recommend is, like I said, it's about 3 to 4 months before we have that new website, which will hopefully be another mechanism and a better mechanism for getting, that the whole point of that is to get information across to the town in a better manner.
Agreed, but I don't think that we need to wait 3 to 4 months for a new website. I had planned on doing this quarterly. Anyways, I think that's only fair, because things are changing and things get updated. So that was my goal, was to pump it out every quarter, or is at least it close to every quarter.
Well, I have to say, as I was looking through, my to-do lists that I have, that it actually has gotten smaller because we have accomplished a lot of things.
And we need to tell people what we've done.
I guess we can tell them individually also.
Yeah, we can tell them individually also, but I mean, the goal is communication is two-way for us to get the information out and for people to come back to us.
Right.
I mean, we had a large audience today, but normally we don't have a large audience. We talk to empty chairs. So, what better way than to put something out on Berlin Neighbor page, which has a ton of activity, compared to, where do I go on the website? I don't know where to go. All right, I've given up. I don't care. That's what I want to avoid. All right, I'll take that on.
Okay, thanks. All right, well, we got 5 minutes. Is there a few more people that you know that are coming, Evie?
For the 1870?
Yeah.
It's just me and Leanne.
Okay,
But we can start. I got most of the stuff.
okay, Leanne is coming,
Waiting.
and Buzz was here a second ago. Is he?
Oh, is Buzz coming for that
He was.
topic?
I think
He
so.
was here.
Yeah,
He was
I
here.
don't see if there's anybody else. I don't know who's he's expecting.
Yeah.
But I
I
have
think
quite a
Dave
bit
had
of
for some reason scheduled.
stuff to look
What's
at.
that?
Dave had for some
Jude, are
reason
you here
scheduled
for that too?
finance.
Oh,
Didn't know why.
well, they have a
They were just
reserve fund
advised.
transfer too, don't
Is there a
they?
reserve fund transfer?
They have a reserve
They
fund
haven't signed
transfer.
yet for the audit, the $5,000 audit one that you signed in August 6th. Isn't signed yet. They
Okay.
don't have a quorum, that's not gonna get solved, but they were invited because of the financial discussion for 1870.
Mm,
That didn't mean they had to come, but it ended up hosting a meeting.
Right. Well, how's it going, Dave?
Well, I made it through my first day, thank you.
Are you staying?
Are you staying? Yeah, there's the big
He's still here.
question. Well, he's
I wasn't
here.
to throw my keys on the desk.
That's good. We just, did you send the updated copy to Dave of Keith's letter? I mean, at some point, she updated a few things on the letter that were to have Keith come back and help you out as necessary. We changed a couple of things, and then she can forward you the updated version.
Did you have a fun day, first day?
Well, I gotta tell you that those guys have done a tremendous job with the facilities they were working out of. Just so
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
how'd you
amazing
like
they
that?
accomplished what they were able to do with working out of it.
Yes, yeah.
You've been looking through all our old cracker boxes.
Yeah.
I was pretty excited when I saw the Buffalo Springfield, thank you, and the chicken house, they call it, or the chicken coop.
Uh-huh.
The little roll that's in there.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there she is, good.
Come on up.
Oh,
Come on up. Do you want to come on up? Maybe June and Leanne should come up too?
Yeah, we should all.
See, this is what happens when you come to the meeting, we call you to the table.
Somebody
easier.
asked me to show up, but so here I am. You know, for reasons passing understanding. Hello.
All right.
Gotta move some of my junk. I kinda like take over. All right,
Well, let's see, we were here,
all right, yeah.
had a couple of things we wanted to talk about and, you know, at least get the discussion started. So maybe instead of, I don't know whether we want to go right into the money issues, or I know that Mary did a little research and looked up for a mission statement or something for the Town Hall Advisory Committee.
Did you find anything?
No, not
Okay,
really.
so I have all that.
Awesome.
Okay.
As
So this
approved by
is-
the selectmen, because I don't see anything was approved by the selectmen.
That's the revolving account. Behind it is the letter from the selectmen.
It's an appointment letter.
Yep. So you should be able to back it up from
Is
there.
that like a 2003
No,
appointment, or is it
2000.
later?
8. So,
Oh.
given that, it should be easy to find. You know, Mary, you can just look, obviously, before that, right? If we got the
What
letter.
date do you have? I gave you the date of the minutes that I saw that they were appointed.
Wait a minute here, is this the...
This is your own minutes of your own town hall
The,
advisory
the,
committee.
the cover letter,
Yeah, the cover letter is an appointment letter.
right.
It doesn't give a charge of what you do and don't do.
But it should give you a clue on where to look.
Yeah, I've already looked. I found it, and there's...
Oh, I thought you said you
in the
hadn't found it.
minutes-
Sorry.
No, there is no charge with the appointment, so there's no statement as to what your mission is. Are you a building committee? Do you manage a facility? What do you do? Do you come up with programming? There was no direction from the selectmen as to what the committee was supposed to do.
Oh,
Can I make a suggestion that we know of anyway? Look up the library board's mission statement and crib from that for what it's worth.
well, you're not, I don't think you're not talking about making a mission, you're talking about researching to see what the mission was.
Or
Well,
if
you
there
asked
was
at
one.
one of your
I
last
think-
meetings that you were here that you weren't sure what your purpose was, and that you wanted to sit and have a discussion about what your purpose was.
But we can write one up. We can certainly.
Well, that's what I was thinking. If we don't have one and you want to continue as the Town Hall Advisory Committee, that we need to put something together. So perhaps one
Perfect.
of us could draft it. I guess I'm looking for, do you want to stay together? Or do you want to continue to do what you're doing? And I guess we would need to know, like, for instance, what are the things that, kind of like a job description for the advisory committee.
Well, our very first meeting, September 8, 2008, we created our mission. And we can do that, or we don't have to do that.
Or update it, or
update it.
right.
So that's what I brought for you to review.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we can talk about it, or I can just give it to you and you can talk about it later. It's just a paragraph to review
why
and
don't
Why don't you
read it,
just
yeah.
read it then?
to review and develop policies, to establish fees, create a marketing plan and a fundraising plan for capital expenses. The focus of the committee's work is overseeing ongoing building usage and planning for the best use of the 1870 Town Hall for the benefit of the townspeople of Berlin.
Not bad, huh?
Sounds good.
So that was what we came up with at our first meeting, September 8, 2008, which was after Thomas's letter as chairman of the Selectmen, May 28, 2008, appointed 7 of us. So this is for your,
Okay. Mary, you want to?
Can I just see your meeting minutes? Because I think I gave you that I have the vote of the selectmen.
I thought that was a
Just devoted people,
2003
but not
thing.
give them mission.
Nope, that's not
But
it.
it
I'll take
doesn't-
that if you wanna leave it
doesn't
with them.
matter.
that's a
That-
copy.
that's an issue.
Yeah.
It's fine with
The
me.
committee drafted their own
Fine
mission,
with me
not
if it's the
selectmen.
same,
That's,
if you guys approve that. So pretty much the life of this committee has been created, and then I've pretty much, and the different people with me on the committee have come to the selectmen over the last 10 years and just asked permission to do whatever it was. Whenever we decided something, we said, okay, we came up with this. We did the research on this. We did, we presented the selectmen with all of the choices, and then we moved forward. So it never had any power. It was always sort of a research, planning,
Research and then
Proposal.
approval of
The selectmen.
The selectmen.
It's always
So
been.
basically an
Right.
advisory committee.
Advisory, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
So
is what
that's how it's
advisory
always
committees
been.
do.
Yeah. And so we've created a lot of articles, obviously, for the town meetings, and got funding for the elevator was the big
Mhm.
project ongoing. But we also created the revolving account, which was in May of 2010, and that is here. I don't know if you found that, Mary. I just printed it in case you guys wanted to know what that was for.
Yeah, well, that might be helpful too, because I don't think I found anything. Did you?
I didn't look for it.
Oh, you didn't look for
Well,
the revolving
we have a
account?
revolving account, so I didn't need to find proof of it.
Right, but I mean,
It's just-
why it was created.
Oh, okay.
I don't think
Yeah.
much has changed since we originally started it.
No, I don't think
The
so.
purposes are all still the same. pretty
Yeah.
much.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind
This is
getting a
for you.
copy of it.
That's your copy.
All right. I don't know, have you all, you've met David. I didn't know
Oh, I
whether.
haven't.
This is,
And-
this is
Yes.
David Smith,
Okay. Hi.
our new highway
I'm
superintendent.
Evie Dewick.
This
Hi,
is
David.
Buzz,
Buzz,
he's
I'm
on
Chair
our
of the Finance
finance committee.
Nice meeting you.
We'll be
I'm on
talking
the-
soon.
Leanne, and we met when I was in the building department,
Okay,
but I
yeah.
also am associated with
Oh.
Yeah.
managing the 1870.
There's a lot of that.
So
Yeah,
this-
you're meeting a lot of people.
He'll be
Yeah.
tested.
Yeah.
Yes, he will.
So,
This is my wife Vicky. I bribed her to
Oh,
come.
hi, Vicky.
I had to buy her dinner, so.
Well, there are only 3,000 people in town, so there's a limit, right?
welcome to Berlin.
Thank you.
What town are you from?
We live in
Are
Sterling.
you live in Sterling? Great. Yeah.
So this is one of the facilities that you're in charge of, is the 1870 Town Hall.
Yeah.
That's why I'm introducing you.
Yeah, I'm sure you have a lot of things to do, but we'd love to have you meet us there, and
I'd love to.
we can show you what we're doing and what we hope you can help us with.
Okay.
And Evie's also the mastermind behind 19 Carter too, the community center,
Okay.
where you should
Which is not a
visit.
town building, so don't worry.
I was about to say
No,
that.
but you
But
can
you should
go.
check it out.
So relax.
It's a good place to go meet townspeople so they know who you are. It'll make your life easier in the long run.
That's true. You come hang out at 19 Carter. That's a really good idea.
All right. Well, I think we could probably do some work around the mission.
Okay.
Take a look at it, see if it needs to be updated, and as a board.
But I think the larger issue was just having a budget at this point, wasn't it? Because I think things
Right.
have kind of been done on the fly, and I think we need to have a budget.
So I thought I would create the 10-year report so that you guys would be up to speed as to what we've done in the 10 years. And then Leanne and I and Bob McTagg met today to put together, I already gave one to June, our guess for this year.
Your
Which
guess.
is pretty good, but we didn't
Okay.
have all of June's numbers. But, so if you want to look at I don't know what you want to look at first. The 10 years, just a nice background for those of you that haven't paid attention or haven't really been involved. You can see we started in 2008 and brought some income in. Didn't really have any expenses because we weren't really established. And then the selectmen were like, yeah, you really need to have a fund to make this real. So that's when they established the revolving account in 2010. So then we started paying money out as well as bringing money in. And those little two numbers in the middle are the number of events per year and the number of people that came through the door per year. So just to sort of tell you how we do that is, events is like one yoga class is one event. You know, so it's like one use.
Meaning the
Right.
6-week session or the...
The 6
is
weeks would
one-
be 6.
Oh, 6,
Right.
okay.
Each time someone's in the building, using the building, we take.
That's a use.
That's a
It's a
use,
use.
and they provide a head count.
Okay.
So it's really number of uses. It's hard to know how to do that, but I just want to make sure we're all
Well,
on the
it's
same
uses,
page.
it's not different groups.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So that gives you some background. Basically, sort of increased for a while. We had a big drop off when the boiler went down.
Yeah,
in
fiscal year
Fiscal year
15.
15. But not to take up too much time, I'm happy to answer any questions Leanne can about what happened.
You have been maintaining and paying your own expenses along the way for the most part.
Yes, pretty
No.
much. The thing is,
No, you haven't.
right, what's happened was, the selectmen decided that they would cover anything over $4,000 for oil to cover the costs of the free uses. Okay, so
Town orgs use it for free.
town organizations use it for free. And so that was a decision, I don't know, a few years ago. And then when there was a custodian, so in the second one, which is what I think is the real discussion, right, is what is not covered by the revolving account. And it's sort of gone in and out over the years, and June would have more record of that. But what I have listed here is what I know about. So June, you might be able to.
You're correct. The manager has always come out, so Leanne has always come out of the
The
revolving.
revolving. So the top one is what I think we've been covering mostly, which is Leanne,
salary.
electric, charter, pest control, $4,000 worth of oil, marketing, and then
Now,
most.
the charter communications used to only be $10, 15, what was it, 20 bucks?
Yeah.
It started at 10 and then it went to 30
Yeah.
and now it's jumped.
So now it's 120.
Yeah, so I used that new number.
So that's new. So this is not what you used to cover. This is newer expenses here. Pest control is $65 a month.
Yeah, so I gave my best guess as to what it would cost this year, based on some of the numbers June sent out and some of the numbers that Ann had. So this is for this year, fiscal year 19. And then just a note that in the past, the revolving account has covered other things like we bought curtains, we bought entry rugs, we covered the cost of the floor refinishing a couple of years, piano tuning. So so that seems reasonable to me. Income projected for this year, classes are clearly the major source right there. We have 8 exercise classes per week.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exercise classes. We've got the Chinese class. Oh, well, then the line dancing.
And the line
for-
dancing.
And then the line dancing is another 1, 2, 3,
And
4,
then-
5 classes weekly.
Yeah. So we tried to do conservative estimates here. 20,000. Contra Nats is $100 per month. Doesn't count the rehearsals.
Right.
And then 2 private rentals per month at $150, 2 public events per month at $50. So our estimate for money coming in this year is hopefully conservative, $25,700. So that's it. That's it for discussion, or for what you guys wanted, right?
Just curious, so the cleaning custodian is that what you normally pay in the year, or what comes out of municipal budgets in a year?
Yes. So normally, June, you pay that.
Normally, Dave is,
Oh, I should give him a
covering-
copy of this.
um,
There we go.
what I did was I grabbed what Keith had submitted for a
Sorry about
budget
that.
for
Okay.
this coming year.
Yep.
Now, Leanne, you're showing here at 9,024. It's actually gonna come to 97,6560.
Oh, okay. I used your number of whatever it was per month. So
Yeah,
Was it wrong?
I'm going based on what the personnel committee approved.
right.
So I
Okay.
don't
I don't
know
know.
which.
It doesn't matter. We'll just
Yeah.
increase that.
So that's basically
Yeah.
what
What number?
started this whole process, was because.
Oh, I think you said 752 a month or something. So what's the new number? 97?
976560
Great. So that adds it
is gonna be what it
Like-
is this year.
19. That's this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that brings it
So-
closer to 19,000.
Currently, when Keith prepared the budget, he had only put in for 95. Now, Finance Committee cut that back.
We're
So
evil
we're
that way, yeah.
actually gonna, based on that the revolving fund was gonna kick in and start paying. So for your yearly budget, this would be more of a yearly budget. My concern is this year, what we're gonna do for this year, is what my concern was. is that we were already gonna be short $5,200 for this fiscal year. So
So-
you're gonna have to kick in and
We can
start
start using the
revolving.
revolving account now.
Okay, well, just to make sure that what you have is gonna cover all your expenses, because there are expenses this year, we don't know what they're gonna be. The electricity, we just have so far 1 month to go by, and it was
Okay.
$340 this last month.
Does that include the Bullard House?
No.
Okay.
So for us, that really, I don't think is gonna show the real cost yet.
Right, yeah.
So I would give it 1 more month as far as
Yeah.
what your monthly actual electricity is gonna be, and we haven't started using the elevator either. So that's gonna be additional expenses, I would assume, in the electricity.
Right. Good.
Now, when Keith, and I'll give you a copy of this, Dave. Keith actually put in his budget for $3,800 elevated contract. I don't know what the contract is yet this year, because I haven't seen it come through. So we'll have to double check that, but that would be a cost.
That's the elevator maintenance contract?
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is what he's got in here, but I have to double check it because it's added in with the regular public buildings. So I don't know how much of it was this elevator here
Oh.
and that one. So I don't know if they're together
Right.
or not. He's also got listed here is the fire alarm contract for $780. Fire alarm testing is $1,100. So that is not here.
Yep, she's taking
Yeah.
notes. So, right, fire alarm testing,
Oil burner cleaning, $300. Fire extinguisher inspections of $90.
I think you just need a copy of that,
Yeah,
Leanne.
I think,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's why I
Yeah,
stopped
I'll just
writing.
give you a copy of this. So that was just what he had put in his budget, which is in Dave's budget for this year as far as cost coverage.
okay. So that
Um,
makes sense, and that parallels with this. It's just a good thing to write it down so
Yeah.
that Leanne knows.
So for next year,
what the municipal.
this would be great, but for right now, we have to make sure that you're gonna have enough money to cover a full year. Do you know what I mean?
You mean
So that it's
the revolving.
because it's a revolving, because you can never
Right.
run out of money, because you can never pay more than what's there.
Right. Right.
So you've always got to make sure that there's cash available at the time that
Right.
you incur anything.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I mean,
So-
that would be one thing I would throw out there is that should we move to just strictly a budget? Where then you don't have to worry about the balance of the revolving account?
Or split it so that
Certain
maintenance
things comes out
under
of-
facilities and
Which is kind of
basic-
the way it was
yeah,
before.
I think the splitting works great, and that's what I
okay.
sort of
Yeah.
created here, right? The
so
top part's all revolving.
expenses go to the revolving fund, and anything additional goes to like your rugs and all your little things like that, and then actual maintenance goes to facilities. Is that
That's
so that's how it
That's the
was done?
decision. Yeah, but it, what's,
and it
what-
just got mucked up because of the elevator project.
right. 'Cause
Well-
we had to shut it down.
right, because
Okay.
we had to shut it down, so there was no income.
Yep.
So what June has a list of, which is great, which I think is good for Leanne to have and us all to have, is what is the town actually covering? Which is that, and so then Dave can make sure it's in his budget
The maintenance and the,
for the maintenance, repairs, and everything like that. But what's lovely about revolving is we can actually, as a committee, plan, like, to like, maybe in 2 years, we'll, fix the curtains or, stuff that's not big
Yeah.
stuff, right? Or, what are the piano tuning or the stuff that sort of feels soft that we can then have money for.
well,
makes sense.
I mean, you just have to make
Yeah.
sure that what you do have in the revolving account is going to be able to be paid for.
Exactly.
And you
And it
have
may not
up
leave you with
until
much.
now. We just
Right.
need to, now what do we need to do to fix this year? Is that's the question? What
That
do we
was
need
why,
to do to
yes,
fix
that's
this
what
year?
the email
Right.
was all about, is that we have to make sure that there's gonna be enough money, because there's still a lot of
Okay.
unknowns right now.
June, what's your best guess? And I understand there are unknowns.
Right.
Because there's an elevator, it's sort of a new facility in some ways now. What's your best guess as to what the deficit might be this year?
Well, my major concern was the salary line item.
Mhm.
So we're gonna definitely be short $5,200.
Okay.
If what?
But
Right now, today, where things stand if we were to continue
Paying me.
using the municipal funds money
From now until the end of the year?
calendar
Yes.
year or fiscal year?
fiscal year.
Okay.
So
So-
through
So
June,
Yeah,
through
no.
June
Yeah,
30th.
which-
So if
no.
we took over that salary and all of these expenses with the revolving account effective now, we'd be fine?
Well, you could be
That's what
based
we're asking.
on, that's your cash flow. That's the biggest thing right now.
Well, we have $9,500 in the revolving account right now.
Yep.
So the monthly costs are,
So you wouldn't be able to start that's what I'm getting at, is you
Right.
wouldn't be able to start picking up the actual expenses, because right now, if you earmark $4,000 for fuel oil, then you have to be very careful, depending on what your income, it's great as long
Right.
as the income flow is
Right,
coming.
right.
It's if it doesn't.
What is the
that-
balance right now? It's like $6,900 in the account, am I correct?
No, we're up to 9,000.
You are?
I don't know what it is
It's
currently.
9,500.
Okay, the last
Yeah,
time I saw
9,500.
balance, it was like 6,900.
I think that was the end of the
Yeah.
June.
Okay.
Are these, some of these things contracted, so you know for sure that the money's coming in?
A lot of these are regular weekly classes that, so on occasion they cancel. And actually that'll increase because the classes over July and August were low because a lot of the instructors don't teach over the summer, and some that were teaching wouldn't teach when it was too hot and humid. So now that everybody's back for the season, these are all our regular reoccurring
We put air
weekly
conditioning in.
classes.
I know, we should have.
Yeah.
Tried.
I
Well-
know, we did.
So I think I got this. I think I got this by email.
Yeah, I usually send it to Mary the end of
Yes.
every month. So
So-
you would have got it the end of August without the $375 that I
Okay.
just
Do you have
deposited.
a cash flow version of your budget, by any chance?
No,
Okay.
because we don't, we've
Do-
just done the revolving.
Are the other expenses covered in the municipal budget? Just the salary is the only one missing?
The salary is the only one that I know is gonna be short.
So then, why don't we
So
just pay
that's a
that?
done deal.
And
Well,
then
the other
so
option
that's
we
is,
know
gonna
for
be-
sure.
What's the that, sorry?
The salary.
The salary.
This is the one that she said was gonna be short?
the
So we
the
can
other
definitely
option
cover
that we
that.
thought of was that we do have a special town meeting coming up, and we could request,
You can't be requesting any
5,200?
more money.
no?
There is no physical money right
do
now
not have
today.
the
You
free
do not
cash
have free
But
certified.
cash.
it sounds
Okay.
like you're
But-
fine
So
with
we
paying her
don't
salary.
have funds
And
right
if you
now
ran into
floating.
trouble, you would let us know immediately
Right,
so that we could address that.
yeah.
So what if they take that over right now?
We could take over the salary part and leave the rest since it's already budgeted, right? The electric,
You-
the charter.
You can, yes, and unfortunately, our electric account is gonna be short, because this was not budgeted.
Right.
So
And we'll
there
just
are-
have to
Make up that
monitor
shortage.
that, so we'll make a better budget for next year,
Well,
right?
Yeah, that's why we're.
Or
here.
I think we should just check in, like, maybe not monthly or every other month or something, just to say, how's it
And-
going?
And then my next
And we
thing
can
would be is who's
take
in
more-
charge?
Take more
Since
expenses.
everybody is here, who's in charge? Because right now, I've got like 3 different people in charge of this
Right.
account, and unfortunately, I don't think anybody's looking at the big picture, and that's why we're here.
I think that's in Leanne's.
Yeah.
As far, well, yeah,
We're
when
just
it's
keeping
anything.
track.
Yeah.
From
when
the
it-
revolving.
Yeah. I
But
hear
now
you.
you're gonna have Dave, who's gonna have to take over the municipal part of it, so
Right,
if
which
you
wouldn't be
aren't, because like right now, it wasn't working very well, because you would just pass off bills sometimes to Keith, or Keith would just get them and you don't know about them.
Mm-hmm.
And so so there really should be some sort of a process here,
Can Leanne
that
and
everybody,
And
David
Dave.
sit down
Mhm.
and
Can somebody draft a document,
I think we're gonna have to do,
that just says, here's,
this
here's
is the
what
plan.
Right.
Like, here's
Here's what's
how the
under
different
revolving.
expenses get split up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just so that when this gets revisited in X number of months, some people will have a very good recollection of this conversation, others will pull their hair and hunt back through the minutes. But if there's a document that everybody agrees on, and
Right.
then it'll be a lot easier to
because
suss
come
out.
November, we're all gonna have to do a budget here for next year.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
And everybody's gotta be on the same page, because unfortunately, like, with the payroll, Keith didn't know anything about it when he did the budget, nobody
Right.
told him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right, yeah, because we had the year off without us running it because of
Right.
the elevator, so that sort of threw everything off.
Would it,
Well,
sorry, go
Okay.
ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I
That's-
think we may have to have maybe a little bit more discussion at some point.
Right.
But at least we've got a handle on some of the stuff. Do you have answers to the questions?
Yeah, I mean, I'm good until we run out of money, and then it's gonna be, I'm sorry you're not
Well,
getting
I
paid
think-
this week, because it's not my
I think
problem.
part of that's fixed by moving Leanne's salary
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
And then I think David and Leanne can sit down and talk about and make sure that everybody knows what's coming from where. And maybe some of those bills even could go directly to where they're supposed to go to get paid out of.
Right.
Yeah,
And we'll get a copy of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I think
That
that's
would
just
help
gonna
me.
be,
Thank you.
you're gonna need to have a better communication with Dave as far as the actual total costs, because unfortunately, it was just, Keith was good. He was just taking
Right.
bills and paying them. It wasn't, he didn't have a choice.
Well, it's good timing for Dave because he's here now and he doesn't have to make a budget till.
Dave's going, yeah,
Right.
sure it
Until
is.
November.
Right.
You didn't think this was gonna be that easy, did you?
So one of the questions that I had from the multiple emails from this week was the additional services for cleaning. So is that in addition to the cleaning custodian that you have, and where is that coming from?
Yeah, we can cover that from revolving. We don't know how much that is though, do you?
No.
Yeah,
no.
We
got
just
an
found
email
out
on
today.
that.
It was $120.
We can do that.
No problem.
And you
Is it
may
a
want to look
one-time?
at a solution.
At this point, it's a
long-term solution for
one-time.
that
We'll
also,
see.
Right.
Right,
That
we need
works
to-
really well.
And that might
Maybe
be
that's
something
your-
we talk about with a budget.
We
Right.
need to have that conversation at some point, and I don't think now's the time, but maybe, I'm not sure how
Oh,
to proceed with that, but we.
Yeah,
it-
I
That's
did
also-
talk with Leanne a bit today.
Okay, yeah, and Dave is
I
probably
can
needs to get
fill-
involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can fill people in or,
Something I think would be helpful, and this may be something you're already doing, so forgive me if I'm
We
telling
are,
you
so.
like. Evie, you do that really well.
Oh, what was it you wanted?
But if you can do a projection forward for like, September, October, November.
Oh, we have
December,
that all.
January. Great, okay.
Yeah.
With projected expenses and income?
Yep.
Great, okay. So if you can look at that and see if there's a place where it looks like that anything might come up short based on how you sort out the expenses.
Right.
Because then one potential solution to small, and in my world, small means $5,000 or less over the course of a fiscal year. So if you end up with, running short in that range, to get through the end of the fiscal year, we have the reserve fund.
Yeah.
I'd rather not have to tap it if we don't have to, but
Right.
it's there, so
Good.
that it's, the special town meeting is not the only place where we can draw funding if we need it. So just be aware of that.
Okay.
Try not to, if it's
you,
possible not
boss.
to.
But yeah,
But that
Leanne
exists, we
has
just
that
have
all
to.
spread
But
out.
just keep in mind, you can't make a transfer to the revolving fund. It would have to go to a line item.
Sure. We'd figure out some kosher way of doing it.
Okay, and that was one of my major concerns, is that we do have to really look at this, is because over the course of the last 5 years, every year the ending balance was less and less and less. So even if we didn't do the elevator project this year, you would have run out of money. Because you were only at $2,000 when we shut down.
Right.
So if you had continued paying the expenses, the only expenses that you were paying, you still would have run out of money. So this is not a self-funded project. So we do need to look at the actual budget.
Right.
and what
and I
part needs
don't
to be in a
know
budget
if-
maybe, and what part you can use the
Or
revolving
if we should even
account,
bother
or-
to have a revolving fund for it.
Right.
Or if it should just become a budget, and whatever funds you bring in go back to the town.
Right.
Something that came up the last time I was sitting roughly in this spot was, and you may already have
Oh,
done
we
this
already
too.
did that, yeah.
Which is a marketing plan, and I have no idea how many open slots you have for
Yeah.
rentals, et cetera.
Yeah, there we go. There you go. That's
Oh, this is your marketing plan?
That's our brochure.
There you go.
Well, that's not a marketing plan.
No, I know. A piece of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but no, if the advisory committee, management committee, whatever it may become,
Advisory is fine.
well, if you're bossing people around and making big decisions, we might call you something else. Who knows? I don't know. You can call yourselves whatever you want, really, in the end.
Sure,
But
we can show you our marketing plan.
Yeah, I think having one would be, and putting money into it, because you may I mean, free marketing is all to the good.
We
but
already
you-
went rogue with the website. We have our own website.
Wow,
We do our
okay.
own email marketing.
Well,
yeah.
that was the other thing I was going to ask you about is we'd like to put you under the 1870 Town Hall under
Town government.
the town
Not-
government
not
side
community.
rather than community,
Oh, yeah, good.
that kind of thing. So, yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that's good. So should we just keep monitoring? This is a perfect year to do that. We'll just keep you guys in the loop, whatever often you want.
And if you have any hint that you're gonna go past what you have in the revolving fund.
Man, we'll be all over it.
All right, and maybe we'll, I can touch base with either one of you, or, or maybe we touch base again around the time that we're gonna talk about
So
putting
currently
together
we're
a
just-
budget.
We're gonna switch over to you paying payroll again?
Mhm.
Is that
Her.
what you?
Yep.
But Stephen is still under the municipal, right?
Yeah, he's always, yeah. he's
And then
always been
basically,
municipal.
also what I'm hearing, just to revise, or to reiterate, is the concept, we're gonna go with this concept, that revolving will cover the expenses that I've listed there, and the municipal will cover the bottom ones plus all of June's.
Are you
That-
gonna start covering these, or do you wanna just, for right now, just start covering payroll?
I guess we'll just start covering payroll.
Because
just-
payroll is
just to get through
5,000,
Yeah, just to
Yeah.
be sure that,
so that'll leave you with 4,000 right now.
right.
Yeah, until we, and now that we're back in the swing of things, there are more and more classes and events, so it will start building back up. But I'd be concerned with depleting it before we've built it up.
Yeah.
Right, we need to build
But
it
we-
up again.
Yeah, but definitely we could do this.
So we
the
could just
salary.
give you reports, or we could come in on a
And the
monthly
selectmen will
basis.
be signing off on payroll, or I can't remember now who used to sign off on it.
I just turned it in with my signature.
Okay. Up to a maximum amount, and that's.
Yeah, up to my 10 hours, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can every month, I do every month, submit this to Mary, which she can give to you, which keeps the running balance of the revolving account.
What's in there at the point. Can you put it in such a format where you can say, well, I guess you kind of already have that, but where you say, this month I paid this bill out of it?
Yes, I usually,
Yeah.
this is just showing deposits, because that's all we've been
Okay.
doing since we opened. But yeah, usually if I show you one from past fiscal year, yeah, usually something like this where it shows.
You knew you brought this for a reason or another.
Buzz's eyes just like lit up.
Yeah,
Just saying, yeah.
Happy camper.
Come
Well, I'm
on.
always looking for a computer.
And
but
by
I know,
the end
it's
of the
close,
year,
it's close.
if you go to June, it has the whole year and everything that came out of the revolving
Okay.
account in
All
each
right.
individual line item.
Would this be helpful for you, or are you?
Call
Well, no,
me.
Good.
we tie out, we used to tie
Yeah,
out
we always
monthly.
tie, yeah.
Okay, good.
I tie out with June
All
every
right,
month.
but that'd be something that, maybe for at least the next couple months, you might want to send us, send it to
Except-
Mary.
Except
So
for
what
now,
we
it'll
do-
just show my
Right.
salary coming out. But
Right.
yes,
So
I'll
we'll redo
continue
the
to do
letter that we had originally done that said stop all expenses. We'll redo that letter. I'll have to find it. That the selectmen
Yeah, I have, oh,
switched
that's in my
because
other
originally
binder.
the selectmen sent a letter that says no more expenses out of the account until further notice.
Oh, yeah, you gotta find that letter.
So we can switch it over to say that they'll
This is what's gonna
Start
come out of it
funding.
now,
We're gonna start funding this
the
town
salary,
manager
the
salary.
payroll.
right?
Payroll. And then
Okay.
we'll gradually add other things as
And
we
then
build
we'll
up
see
the.
how things go, and we'll see what the expenses are for the electricity and
Right, that'll be really important.
fuel oil
So
and that type of
with
stuff.
us
So-
not paying that, you'll have to get that from June so that we can,
Or Dave, I can
Or
talk to
Dave.
yeah.
Dave doesn't do the electricity part of it, because that has always been the town.
right,
You've never done that, so.
so that'd be good to know.
Let's see about the fuel oil.
I know some folks who might want to run events in the 1870 Town Hall now that it has an elevator.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Send them right
there's a lot
over.
of people who are showing
Yeah.
interest now
So-
that there's an elevator.
So much. So what do we do about the other issue? Do you guys want to just talk to us about it? About the?
I will talk to you
Okay,
later.
we'll just
I'll talk-
figure out-
I haven't filled them in yet.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
great.
So I will.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
you're welcome. We'll be in touch.
Yes. I'm glad it's solved the immediate problem. And June can sleep again. We're so grateful for June to look at all these details.
I know,
and
we trust
The
you.
canary in the wine, you know? Don't die before we all do.
All right.
I'd like a copy too, Jim, please.
So, can you take your time to come by, or you want to
Yes.
get your bearings first?
This week's looking
Bye,
pretty
thank you.
full.
Next week?
What are the odds?
If you could wait till next week, that would be better.
That's fine. Are you using the highway email?
Yes.
Could be a bit tonight.
We can be in touch then?
Yes. Perfect. Well,
Take a deep breath.
Yep.
Everybody's really nice here.
I've
We all want to,
been arrested. I visited the police station earlier today and they didn't lock me up, so.
you may want to be locked up. actually.
They didn't show me the cells. I'm not sure if that was a.
Foreshadowing. Go down to 19 Carter.
Yeah.
Gotta go down to 19 Carter. Chillax, have some coffee,
The
have a
chiefs have
snack.
already promised they'll take you over for coffee on Wednesday morning, so.
Yeah, Wednesday morning coffee is a good time to meet people.
It's an awesome building.
Where is that?
That way.
It's,
Right in the
It's
center.
the-
Yeah, right in the center of town.
The orange Victorian in the middle of town.
Orange and yellow.
It's
By
Go to the
library.
general store
Right
and
into
go
the
left.
library.
You run into the library, you're there.
Okay, good.
the town at the center of Berlin's not too big,
Yeah, no, don't blink.
right? All right, so where are we here? I think we're
Down to other.
We're
old-
good unless you have any
updates.
other new business, old business, selectmen updates.
I know the personnel committee's working hard. They realized that they were, they had a lot to do.
Yeah, I know, I might be contacting them too.
Yeah.
I did send over that vacation policy too, that I had sent the two of you, just
Okay.
so that they had it. And I think you probably heard, we did hear back from the lawyer. Well, I chased the lawyer down for the town management stuff, so they did send feedback over. So
Oh,
they're looking
okay.
at that now.
Okay, can you forward the feedback to us?
Yeah.
That'd be good. Did you have anything you wanted to add tonight?
No, I was gonna try and pop in on the rec committee tomorrow, Wednesday.
Okay. Tomorrow morning, I'm coming in to do assistant tax collector interviews. So, that should be fun from 8 o'clock to about 1.
Are there a lot of candidates?
There's a few, yeah.
Good.
And then on September 18th, I'm going to be involved with the Insurance Advisory Committee meeting that they're going to have with Maya to look at the costs of health insurance for the town.
Okay.
So, and how we can cut some costs, maybe perhaps. So, yeah.
Mary, for the town officer meeting, where are we meeting? Here, there?
The hearing room, 227, all the way into the hall on the right.
Okay.
Where we go to
Because there's a
ZBA.
projection screen in there.
Yeah.
And
We have a projector.
we do, it has like the funky old style of connecting, so
Bring your laptop, bring my laptop, bring a.
if
bring a
yours
stick.
connects, if not, I could give you this. I'm not gonna be here, but,
Now, why didn't we do the one downstairs that has the better?
oh, because I always put hearings up here.
Okay, because they have I think they have more up-to-date equipment down in the fire safety.
I
training
don't
room.
schedule that room. I could ask the police chief or the fire.
Or why don't
It-
you
it
go
might
down
be
and
a-
check it out after the meeting and see, or
I
not?
don't know. I just, I
Check
would
it out
talk
and
to
see.
Tom Galvin,
Okay.
but I think it's better than what's up here. I think it's more modern than
So
what's
we
up
still
here.
need a laptop or just a stick?
It's a laptop,
Okay.
I think.
So I'll just
But
bring it
I
on
don't
the
know what
drive.
have no
exactly they
idea
have
what they
down
have
there.
downstairs.
I haven't
It'd be
actually done it. I've
Okay.
just saw a laptop connected, but I
Alright.
think it's a nicer
Alright.
room for that.
The one where we met with the
Yeah.
CMRPC and the
Yeah.
safety groups? Okay.
No, I thought you met in the council on aging space, you said.
No, that was the school committee.
School committee, okay.
Yeah.
So are we doing any final notifications to them to let them know where we are? Bring a pencil, bring paper. Presentation's not gonna be printed out, so it can just be thrown out.
I think she sent an email to this effect
Okay.
today, didn't you? No. You sent one to us.
Yes, asking if we could squeeze it on the agenda to talk about today.
Okay, and here we are.
Okay, all right,
So if you'd forward it to me, I don't know what you want me to tell the department.
okay. Oh, I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you,
I know
Mary,
you will.
don't you worry.
I know you will.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make sure IT committee gets included too, because they weren't?
There's no
They
good
scheduled
master
it-
list.
I know, they
Everybody-
scheduled a meeting, I know, and that's something I need to
Someday
argue
we'll get
again
Google
with,
training.
I've
So,
tried repeatedly.
So you know what, I'll send it to you and I'll send it to Chief Galvin since,
We're gonna use that space.
I guess. All right,
All right.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
Motion to adjourn?
seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.